a pretty lonely person, to be honest with you. I'm not like massively like, I don't have loads of people around me. I don't pick up the phone lots, you know. I'm quite introvert in a sense. It's funny that I rap and I've stood on stage in front of thousands of people, but that's different.
Where's that come from then?
I don't know, man. I just always kind of like, if there's a crowd of people, I just chill at the back and let everyone talk, you know. I'm kind of like to watch.
And then you dial in the cipher and it's just fucking decimate.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
It's been a long time. Ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, Central London. You couldn't get any more central, in fact.
Nope.
Big shout out to all the sharers and carers, people that have been clocking and supporting, spreading the love and subscribing from the very beginning. You know how many was out there, and you'd be a fool to miss out. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GKNIFTYHEADS, have 10,000 play-to-earn GraffPunks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website GKNIFTYHEADS.com and play to earn now. Today, we have a new cross general. Gentleman from high esteem, you understand, a man of my age, a man of my career time path. Caxton Press, original club promoter, creator, producer now. Do you know what I mean? Speaker's Corner, founder, you know. This man has been doing it for a long, long time. Love 79, it's time to give some flowers out here. Manage inside the place.
My man Killa, what's happening, man?
Good.
Good to be here, man.
Yeah, it's good to have you here.
Yeah.
You know, a bunch of people was hitting me up saying, get managed on, get managed on.
Oh, yeah, good people, man. Good people. I'll pay you all later.
Yeah, totally. They know what side their bread is buttered, isn't it? So, yeah. You've been good in yourself, my brother.
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Doing music, man. Still on it, you know.
Yeah.
Enjoying it, you know.
Yeah.
Just putting out creative process, man.
What a beautiful thing. What is that burning desire and drive?
Oh, man, I think it's just like, for some of us, I can't speak for myself, but it's just the first kind of thing I learned to do was art, was pick up little keyboards, drums, make noises, make sounds. Fully inspired by rap when I first heard it. It was like, I want to rap. So then
This
I
is
rapped
me.
like them, you know what I mean? And and that thing, it just kind of never left me, man. Like, you know, I just always inspired by music, art, creativity, and just the process of creating. Sometimes, once I've done with the process, I'm kind of done. People, there's a whole nother level of putting the music out and all this other stuff, and people will share the same song 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I'm kind of done. When I'm done, I listen back. Oh, this is lovely. I love this. Put it out. Cool. Next.
So it's just a conveyor belt of constant creative
It's a conveyor
movement.
belt of creativity, yeah. I just love creating. Being in the studio was always my thing, although I didn't know it young. I was in cyphers, I was out rapping everywhere.
Yes, I remember.
yeah. First time I met you, man, was...
ciphering.
I'm going to tell you, man, I don't even know if you remember. First time I met you, we was outside Stratford Rex, fresh 98, and you was beatboxing in the queue, and I had to get in, and I had a few guys, I had to start rapping, and he was like, yeah, 360 physical. And I was like, and then I started seeing you guys pop up everywhere.
Yeah, that's it,
You know what I mean? But that's
Golden
how it was.
era, you know.
That's how it was, like... Just someone beatbox, let's rap, you know what I mean? And then you go, we made friends, and however many, 20-something years later.
Wow.
No, I can't do that, man.
Yeah, I know. But we don't want to put numbers on top of our ages, but I will say this, my brother. Yeah. It's fantastic to see somebody, you know, when meeting so early and seeing the integrity that runs through your music. Not all of us we've all partaked in different things. We don't. We often go off course slightly with our integrity. What you've managed to do is create a cult classic, for something that people that are genuinely passionate about the craft of MCing. You know that you come up at, you know, your name comes out their lips. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying?
I remember many years ago I had a talk with someone and he said to me, you know, you got to change it up. You know, things are changing. You got to do some new this and new that and da-da-da. And I was like, do I? Really? Like, no, fair. Like, everyone, I suppose to an extent, you got to move with the times to some extent. But for me, beats and rapping is timeless, kind of like, you know, the elements of sounds change and the flows change and stuff. But it's still there. And I kind of always felt my shit was relevant to at least me, and if it's relevant to me, it's relevant to at least another amount of people, who are like-minded. So, you know, I never felt the need to change up or do. I remember at the time, that specific conversation was everyone was doing double time. It was the new flavour.
Yeah.
And I like it. I'm a music man. I listen to anything. I don't mean I'm doing everything.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
drum and bass, hip hop, everything.
Yeah, I'm mad into jungle drum and bass as a kid. Mad into it. I used to tape off radio and everything. Do you know what I mean? Send shout outs. Big got the 0860. It was just music head, you know. But say everyone was on it. And I just kind of never felt like I needed to do different things, you know, or change up the music to be more dancey, up tempo or anything like that. I just kind of was nice making hip hop, you know, and kind of still nice making hip hop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although it's like kind of like modern day golden era, but it's still the elements.
It's funny you say that because it is like a modern day golden era. I think Griselda has helped, you know, perpetuate that speed, and it's very interesting.
It's surprising how they brought back the sound that a lot of us liked, that had kind of been relatively missing in a mainstream way, and they brought it back, and look how many people took to it. It was crazy. I couldn't go anywhere without people saying, "Oh, have you heard this? Have you heard that?" It's just like, because it's good stuff, right?
Came with the same force as Wu-Tang Clan, is it? In scale.
Yeah.
Just like so many tunes.
And even look, when Wu-Tang came on the scene, you know, there had been a lot of like sort of player kind of hip hop,
shiny suit
pimps, and you know what I mean, and this and that, and everyone flossing, and sometimes people just like it raw and rugged.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, they do, and it really doesn't
No
age,
frills.
does it? Yeah, no frills, just like boom. You know, when did it all begin for you?
Oh man, since like, on a real like it being a music head. Then it started.
Let's take it right.
Kid.
Let's take it as a kid from the beginning. Like
From a kid, I was buying records age 9.
Really?
Yeah, birthday come round, family would give me some money, and I'd go to the record shop and buy a Demon Boys tape or something like that.
Come on,
you know,
pedigree.
I was just a mad fanatic for hip hop.
So where did you find this? Where did you source the information on what to buy?
Radio at first?
Yeah.
Westwood?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just any hip hop in my school.
Yeah.
I went to a boarding school for like kids with behavioural problems, you know.
Yeah.
So everyone would bring tapes in, you know what I mean? First heard like NWA, blew my mind.
That tape.
I had a tape, got confiscated in school. And
we went through the same trajectory, time frame.
It got confiscated, so I had to get another dub of it again, you know what I mean?
There's more worn out version of as well.
Yeah, but we had one because we used to play it in school. We used to like, you know, like not bleep the curse words, but like silence them. So we had to do it so we could play it in school. And then the teachers couldn't say nothing, you know what I mean? So,
students plan to teachers like that.
It started young, just listening. And I used to just mimic the raps in my bedroom, wherever I was. My friends in school, someone would beatbox. And I would just rap the lyrics to Rakim or NWA or KRS-One or Public Enemy, whatever. We would just rap along, and people would be, "Oh yeah, do the rap." All right, I'll just rap some Ghetto Boys lyrics, whatever. And from one day, I was like, start writing my own shit. I guess, like, you know, it's time to just put some bars down, write some stuff. I was always into making beats and that as well, always. But I never had the equipment, you see. You know,
It's quite pricey to be a producer.
A pen and paper was affordable back, especially back then.
100%.
Like, equipment's probably more affordable now, but back then, I didn't have the know-how either. I wouldn't have known what to do with equipment. You know what I mean? You would have given me all samplers, and I would have just been like, "What do I do with all this?" You know, like where I'm from, there weren't like loads of money floating about and that. So like the most we would have studio-wise was when we first was able to get PCs. And just get copies of Cubase, you know what I mean? Just pirate copies of software and start just making tracks in the flat, really. And now it's just a evolution of that, really. I'm still in the flat, still making tracks. Just I've got some bits and bobs around me now, and I kind of know how to use them a bit.
Once you find your lane, of technology and how you best you want to serve your sound. You work with the equipment you've got and you find a way. And it's
always, man. You give me. I mean, I remember a time we was making beats on the PlayStation, man.
Really?
Not even joking. Good beats, man. I made a demo of beats on the PlayStation. It had about 8 beats we made. We made each beat about 6 minutes long. I used to just play them in my boy's car and just rap to him while we drove about.
So what, you must have been like 16, 17 at that time?
we're talking, what was it?
Well, maybe
What
a
was
little
it?
bit later.
Music 2000. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was a bit older, like 20s, 21.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, but you know, even that, like, couldn't afford high-end PCs and stuff, or laptops and shit. Start making beats on the place. Anyway, you can do it.
Yeah, anyway,
man,
you know,
what I mean?
I think a lot of
You do
people did
anything.
that. Like back in the day, just running in tandem with hip hop, as best described, because that's exactly how it was, and it'd be mixtapes. And if you want a mixtape of from radio, it would be a duplicate of an album
yeah.
that really was impossible to get, because it was impossible to get.
Yeah.
But running parallel with that was, and this is where technology took a bit more of a lead, was there was the rave culture coming up around the same time, right? So you had this like mad, like, and like you say, jungle came through at that
Yeah,
point
I used to
as
go
well.
raving. I used to go raving young. Like I knew, like where I'm from, Broccoli is where Remark's from, and his family used to go out. I knew some of his family and friends, and so that when they used to go out playing at certain raves, I would go along. And I'm talking 14. You know, we'd just walk in the club with him. Bouncers wouldn't say nothing because I'd hold his records or his brother's records or whatever. You know, we'd just roll in, you know, and get treated a little bit like royalty in the raves. You know what was going on. It was mad. So yeah, but yeah, jungle and that. I had my time out there. I love jungle and that, but I'm not really a massive dance music head.
No,
I
I
put
get
it
you.
on, but I'm not really a raver.
I get
you know?
what you mean.
For me, music was in the house, was in the car, was on the headphones.
Well,
was,
you're right. I totally agree with that. Because
I
by
was
default,
listening to lyrics, I was listening to
Yeah.
sounds and bits,
Yeah.
and in the club, and you're all drunk up, although we had many sessions like
Yeah.
that.
It
It
ain't the
wasn't
same.
my relation with music. My relation with music was different. You know, it wasn't about partying and stuff. My relationship with partying was partying, and that was it. You know, it just happened to be my choice of music was whatever. But you know, when it came to actually listening to music, yeah, it was at home for me. It was pulling out the record, pulling out the inlay, reading all this, just being a fan. You know what I mean? Just checking out the pictures, staring at iced tea covers. You know, just like, wow, look at this.
I stared at that Power album for too long.
Yeah, I think we all did, yeah. But, you know, yeah, so, you know, that's how it started. Just got into music young and kind of never left it, man. And just like, whether I'm not even being massively productive, I'm always listening. You know, always listening.
Well, you're a study. You're a student.
Yeah, just I enjoy it, man, you know.
Let's go back to the aforementioned Fresh 98 and prior to that.
Oh, yeah.
Going into like the Soho
Yeah.
era of UK hip hop, and I say that because every time I say the word backpacker, people start think, you know, what's you talking about? But
Yeah.
it was, you had to be there.
Yeah.
And that was a crazy
It was a
time.
vibe, yeah.
Deal Real,
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Bongo.
Yeah, paint pens everywhere, just putting your name everywhere, travelling with your crew all night, ciphers, anywhere you go.
Yes.
You'll
What's
be
that
in the
about?
back of a club
Yeah.
while someone's on stage performing and you're
Yeah,
ciphering with
yeah.
people like,
Yeah,
you know.
for real.
Just, it was great. It was hip hop in its essence
It
as
was.
far as I see it. And I'm so proud that I was at the perfect age
Me
for
too.
that.
Yeah.
You know, for that whole sort of, like you say, backpack era, just Deal Real, ciphering, freestyles. I know some incredible artists,
Through there.
rappers,
yeah.
DJs, painters, writers, everything from there. Yourself,
Yeah.
so many people that I met from there, so talented, you know, and it's good.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be a part of that,
Yeah.
man. It was a good time, and I'm glad that my name got recognised as well. You know, that I used to walk around in clubs and fully gassed. I would walk in and 20 people would spud me and nudge me. Yes, manage. I mean, I'm a pretty lonely person, to be honest with you. I'm not like massively like, I don't have loads of people around me. I don't pick up the phone lots, you know. I'm quite introvert in a sense. It's funny that I rap and I've stood on stage in front of thousands of people, but that's different.
Where's that come from then?
I don't know, man. I just always kind of like, if there's a crowd of people, I just chill at the back and let everyone talk, you know. I'm kind of like to watch.
And then you dial in the cipher and it's just fucking decimated.
Yeah. And, you know, I kind of, there was a period where I kind of just stopped getting in the ciphers and that, where I realised that, like, I used to be all over it, freestyling, had bars for this, bars for that. But then, like, the artist kind of took over, where I was creating projects and songs and music, and then all my writing went to that. And so then I started thinking, I don't want to be in a cypher rapping all these lyrics from my songs, and I don't have enough time to write bars for cyphers, bars for this, bars for that. And my freestyle was always, yeah, it's all right. But I thought too much to freestyle. That's where the best freestylers just tune in and go. As with me, I was always thinking of what's going to make sense too much. That it kind of hampered my ability just to let go.
That kind of in rhymes within the in rhymes, and you're thinking about.
So I think at a point I realised that I wasn't so much the party MC, you know, I wasn't so much that guy. I was more like trying to write songs and come up with concepts and meanings and. So I kind of, I didn't get in the ciphers and that so much towards like my later rap years. I know my rap years ain't over, but I mean like my later active rap years. You know what I mean? So I kind of just realised that the artist side was taking over, and it's more where I found my place. You know, in the studio, recording, even directing rappers who come through who are great artists, but maybe like slightly unpolished with writing songs, who write some sick bars, but don't know how to write songs. And I kind of get in my element in that place, and I'm like, let's sit down, let's create this, you know. I'll give you something to go home and think about and write about, you know. It's like, you know that movie, The Commitments, when he's giving them stuff to go home and research and watch. I'll be giving people like, yo, go check this out, listen to this, man, hitting up their inbox, oh, check this out, you know, to try and inspire people to, you know, get the best out of them and things like that. You know, I love working with artists like that, you know, and getting into. That's why I kind of always like working with groups. I love the dynamic of working with other people in music, you know. Like
Caxton Press. In fact, you know what? Actually, because when you look at your album roster of special guests, when you take any one of your records as a snapshot. I understand where you're coming from, because you get inspired by the thing, you know. It's natural selection. When you're inspired by something, it's like, okay, well, this will yield a lifetime of cultivating and creative experiences and such. You have a very particular kind of MC bring-in on your records. They're not what you would expect, which is my point. And they're full of surprises each time. Yeah. And there'll be names that you don't recognise, and next to ones that you do.
Yeah, that's always kind of been a thing. I've never been one to like flock to whoever's hype. I mean, whoever's hype might be really good, you know, but I would equally work with them or equally work with my boy who lives 2 roads over.
That's the beauty. That's the fucking beauty about your projects.
My old estate where I used to live, it was surrounded by guys who rapped, who weren't rappers. And done tracks with many of them, you know. Half of them didn't progress because they didn't really see themselves as artists and that. But I know so many real guys who can rap real good who weren't rappers. Like, you know, just didn't want to rap.
I fucking love
just
that.
Like writing bars, you know. They had the odd 2-3 verses around the ends. I know kids on the ends that could have been stars. You know, there's young Nazis out there.
Really?
There's young Nazis out there in the area, just like not getting the breaks and then letting it go and then, you know, doing other things, and that's fine. But, you know, I always like that, man. I suppose I would kind of just work with anyone who I think just sounds nice, man.
It's kind of
character's good as well. Like, you know, a person's character is you know, determines a lot if I want to work with them, and if they have a good vibe about them and they're energetic and enthusiastic about themselves. Kind of, yeah.
But it's no different to what Wiley did, though.
Yeah.
No different to what Wiley's done. Yeah. You know, in bringing people up, it just starts in, if not the youth centre, it starts on the street. It starts at, and you build your own.
We did that.
Ecosystem.
We tried to build a studio in a youth centre from way back, and did recordings in the Woodpecker Youth Centre that was down local to me in New Cross, and you know, we always try to do things. Like youth centres are cool for that. You know, they can get funding, they can help you get a little place and get it hooked up. I think. First time I was seeing all that stuff was like the Out of the Ville guys, and that they had a whole centre set up. Yeah. And that was inspirational to us. I mean, we didn't have nothing like that. And I was looking at it going,
that was like a complex.
That would be good. Sick, like, you know, to have people around and infrastructure and, you know, some base, you know, for the artistry to go to. But, you know, we just did it in the flat, man. Just made what we could and just pushed out our demos and went to every. Lucky we was in London and
it's just inspiring,
hip-hop
bro.
shows everywhere. So we just we was on that mob mentality. Turn up with 5, 6 of us all ready to rap and mixtapes on us and pens and stickers and whatever, and just blam up everywhere and let them know we were there. Really, it's that mentality, isn't it?
Yeah,
like, you know
I
what
love
mean?
it.
It's almost like a hooligan thing,
Yeah, yeah.
where people are traveling next place, like, yeah, this is us, this is our crew,
Yeah.
like, you know. But hip hop's like that, you know.
But there was a load of crews like that back in the day.
Yeah.
New Cross has a rich history.
A lot
of
of good
hip-hop.
rappers from New Cross, man.
Been back in the day, like Blade and Renegade, all
Blade,
those,
of course, yeah.
creating this
Yeah, Black Twang. You know what I
black
mean?
twang, exactly. Jesus, yeah.
And lots of newer guys, P Money and so on.
Yeah.
Bedford, New Cross.
Yeah. What was the climate of New Cross like for you in that era of this?
It was rough, man.
Yeah,
New Cross
tell
was
me, tell
rough,
me,
man.
tell me.
Like they call the place ghetto. This might sound funny to people if you're not from there, but you go down to New Cross, the estate's called Ghetto down there. The gang there from way back in the 70s was TGB, the Ghetto Boys. And then you got younger ghetto boys, younger ghetto boys, younger ghetto girls, and so on. But being from that neck of the woods, Lewisham Borough as a whole, because I've moved all around the borough, like Brockley, New Cross, Catford, all that. There's a lot of gang culture. You know,
Well, you're in Catford as well, yeah?
Catford as well, yeah. And a lot of them gangs were linked up, but then a lot of them wasn't. And you could be on a bus going somewhere, get caught in a different area. People think you're dramatising it when you say things, and they see things like Top Boy and Blue Story and etc. But it was like that, especially early mid-90s. It was gang culture galore. It was everywhere you went. It was just people robbing. Similar to now, but
really,
I'm older, so I'm not part of it, which I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I feel for the youngers because the whole online thing and the social side of stuff amps things up massively. As we're back in the day, we could have had a fight with a guy over something, someone tried to rob you or something like that. You have a fight, you won't see this person. Or you might not see him for a year, or you might see him again, unfortunately, you get into something, but you won't now with all the online stuff. It's all carried on, it's all hype milled, everyone laughing, reacting, hyping this. It's not good for the kids, man.
No.
You know, it's not good. It's not a good setting.
And the gentrification of places as well. That doesn't help much neither, does it? Because I always find it interesting, because even saying the word gentrification...
Well, they changed up New Cross as well.
Yeah,
you know,
I see, yeah.
But they're trying, anyway.
Yeah, they're trying.
Yeah. To try to turn Deptford into Dalston.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I remember Goldsmiths College and making my way from the station to Goldsmiths College pretty quickly, but now kind of walking along is a bit more kind of chilled if you let
nice.
it.
No, I mean, it's lost some of the culture that was in
Yeah, I
New Cross.
agree.
There was some good like party spots and stuff in there, and just cultural kind of spots that people could go to and just link up regularly. But a lot of that's gone now. It's what it is, isn't it? It's like you say, gentrification is changing the nation. You know, but it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, for me personally, like I'm not really out anyway. I'm not out to shows and gigs and hanging out and stuff like that. I'd say I'm more creating and doing my thing. So it's good. But yeah, like your original thing, New Cross back in them days. Yeah, it was
Mad.
It was mad. Yeah, it was mad. It was crazy. I couldn't tell you the amount of people that I knew who got stabbed, went jail. Same old stories, man. Hooked on crack. Bump into friends now I've known forever who got no teeth.
Really?
Fully, and I'm just like, yeah, you know.
Do you reckon music
What happened?
helped?
I'm glad I got away from it.
Yeah, well,
man.
I was just thinking
Like,
to say, did music kind of aid?
yeah, kept me steady, man. Like I told you, I was in care, I was in children's home.
Right.
I was in the boarding school for bad kids, whatever, behavioural problems. So a lot of the people I grew up with who were like brothers to me, they didn't have music or artists or things to do. So, you know, we was all robbing and stealing and doing everything we could, and a lot of them didn't stop, and they just the drugs got bigger. The money they needed to get
Pressure
the
got
drugs
heavier,
got bigger,
yeah.
so in and out of jail, same old story, same old. We all know it. We've seen the cycle for years, and I'm so glad that for my vices, I did a lot of experimental drugs when I was young, and I hit a point in my mid-teens where I was like, yeah, this ain't working for me. I had psychosis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I took a year or so. I couldn't even leave a room for like a year.
Really?
I'll go outside and hear people's brains wobbling in their heads and stuff. I went fully mad.
No way.
I done too much acid. I went crazy.
Wow.
I went mad. Too much acid. And I basically, from then, I was like, I can't really do Class A. A couple times since then, I did bit of Mandy and something like a bit of party.
Yeah.
And that was it. I kind of just like left it. Weed is my thing.
Yeah.
Occasional drink.
Yeah.
I just like to have a smoke and that's it really. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, a lot of my friends couldn't stop.
Psychosis
And
for you.
do you know the mad thing is, the psychosis that I had kind of helped me stop doing drugs.
Yeah, totally.
Because if I hadn't have had the what we call freak out, I had a bad trip. I did a lot of acid, and then I had a bad trip, and I left everything, and then about 2 months later, I thought I could do another one, and it was fine. And then the next time I did that, I had another bad trip. So I had like 2 bad trips in the space of 6 months, and it basically crippled my head, man.
Wow.
Like I was seeing things, hearing things, thinking things, everything. Just.
So how
I
old were
never
you?
thought that I would. Then I was like 15, 16. Right, okay. I never thought that I would be out of it. I thought this was me for life. You know, I couldn't even like smoke weed for like ages, because I would have like one toke and I'd go straight back into this crazy psychosis world that was going on. I saw doctors and everything, and I was trying to explain to them. They're just looking at me like I'm strange, and I'm going, you know,
It's just residue in your head the whole time.
Yeah, and even up to now, I'm in my 40s now. If the weed's too strong, sometimes it can get a little bit like, oh man, like you know, some things come back, some memories of the psychosis, and so even now, like I smoke weed, but I'm not like hitting bongs. I'm not doing mad edibles and going off. I have done, but I'm not trying to be completely out of my skull. Like, you know, I kind of like to be in my skull. You know,
kind of like to be present.
Yeah, I do.
I mean?
And like, you know, even smoking through the days and stuff is kind of like, if I got nothing to do and I'm being creative, then of course
Blaze on.
it goes hand in hand for me. But most of the time, if I'm going somewhere, like coming here to see you or going somewhere, I don't want to smoke, man. I don't want to. When I go out, I don't really smoke. You know, I kind of just want to stay sort of level-headed. It's weird, for so long, I wanted to be high, wanted to smoke weed. And now it's kind of like smoking weed and being high is the norm, and then being off it is the thing that I'm almost craving now. So, yeah.
That's a blessed place to be.
Yeah, it's cool, you know. Moderation is the thing I've learned, man.
Yeah.
It's just moderation, man.
Harry Shotter says that, everything in moderation. I've still got to figure that one out, really. In case you haven't noticed, I'm going quite to an excess on things, and it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Caxton Press.
Oh, yeah, CP.
Yes. Tell me the background. Who's in the crew?
Oh, Caxton Press was me, Kingpin, MC Killa, Amy True, DJ Snuff.
2 of which have been on the podcast. Hey, love Amy True and
Hello,
DJ
family.
Snuff. Yes, that's right. And Formidable Force. I can imagine,
Yeah, we did some good bits. We made some noise, which was nice. You know, it was good to get out there and bring the formula of hip hop that we've been doing, but just like to put it together as a group. Amy brought a lot of attention, being the presence that she is.
Yeah.
You know, singing as well.
Yeah.
Brought next level to the shows, to songs, to just, you know, and it brought a slightly different audience as well. You know, it wasn't just the same heads from ciphers and stuff. There was a lot of other attention coming on, so we was able to use that and get a lot of events at like festivals and stuff, and it was real good. It's a real good experience.
Yeah.
You know, more than anything, these experiences are, you know, that's what makes you rich.
Yeah.
Me, you know, but I'm not rich, but I've done a lot of good things that rich
and-
people couldn't even do.
Creative currency.
And it's big to me. So when people say, "Oh, you said that," I haven't worked and had high profile jobs and that, but you know, I've travelled around and stood in.
You've worked with a lot of
stages in
people,
front
Deborah.
people.
You've worked with a lot of people.
a lot of people.
Let's run some names off, because you mentioned Jedi Mind Tricks before we jumped on.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because we were saying about like people you've supported, and I was saying like, you know, I'm not great at like selling myself, you know, and it's like, and my own merit's my own merit, but if I was to sit and say all the names of people we performed with and met and got daps off over the time, it's just endless, man. Honestly, it's endless. And you know what? I got to big up Snuff because
Yeah, an enabler and a half. Door
he's
opener.
been my boy from day
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
right? Before Caxton, before Chain of Command was another crew.
Yes, Chain of Command. Jeez.
Before that even, me and Snuff was cool. And once we started doing these music things and groups and that, he was getting us shows, getting us gigs in places by being just determined. And if there wasn't a show to get, he would make the show. He would put it on. and that's how we was there doing things all the time. So I got to big him up, man, because a lot of them high profile shows we got on, we supported Saigon when he was here on tour. Jedi Mind Tricks, Styles P, Immortal Technique.
Crazy.
There's so many more names. Jerry the Damager, blah blah blah. I could just go on. It doesn't stop. But that was Snuff. You know, hollering at people, and people respected Snuff's word for his street, for how he's out there grinding, and everyone knew Snuff from not just being a DJ, but being someone who makes stuff happen in hip hop in this country at that time. So we had the backing of Snuff, who was part of the crew and fully behind it, and so he was just getting us shows everywhere by hollering people and saying to people, "Look, we'll do your street team shit. You put us on."
Yeah.
You know?
So yeah. So
Put us on. We will
you're
fly
backing
for
it,
you.
yeah.
And you know our name.
Yeah.
Everyone on street level knows our name.
Yeah.
So you let us push your thing,
And you're fully backing it.
and then you're getting the backing from us, and
Yeah.
we just want to be put on.
Yeah.
You know. So we were taking that, and yeah, it helps, man. Helps.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
And then came Speaker's Corner.
Oh yeah.
You know.
They were good times, man.
I
Real
mean,
good
this
times.
had legs of its own. It was just
Yeah,
that-
again, that was Snuff. You
Yeah.
know, it was. I was part of it, but Snuff was the driving force behind the whole thing. You know, we sat down, we wanted to make a night. Snuff had done another couple of nights more locally, and got a taste for it. And he just hollered. The place was called Bar Lorca then. It's Jam.
Yeah, that's
It was
right.
Bar Lorca.
Bar
back
Lorca,
then.
you see.
Yeah, 261 Brixton Road, Bar
yeah.
Lorca. And so we talked to them, and they said we could have it on the first Thursday of every month. Thursday is not a traditionally great night, but we thought, all right, Snuff's idea was always to make it like a non-profit organisation, so like it was free entry. Which kind of worked well, because like you got to think a Thursday night's not exactly popping, which is why the club was willing to
Back
give it to us
then,
and see
yeah.
what we could do.
And it's less.
And what
it's less
Snuff
hassle.
did is turn around and fill out their night more than any other nights they've ever had.
Yeah,
It
because you can
was
get away with
roadblock.
it. Yeah, totally.
People were coming from north. People were coming from different places,
Yeah.
travelling down
I
to
remember going
London to go Speaker's Corner,
Yeah.
because it was just a vibe. It was just, we would put on 10 acts in the night in the main room, and the other room had, you know, reggae and so on. It was just a real good vibe. Yeah,
God, that's
doing
good,
that.
isn't it?
And when you make it free entry as well, it just the masses gathered, man. Some real good nights in there, and a lot of things went down on that stage, man. A lot of moments that I remember.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, good times, man. But yeah, Snuff was on it, grinding like round the clock. Like, you know, like to everyone who used to go there and like used to see like the toilets blammed up and everything like that. Snuff was there the next day
Cleaning it.
when everyone was hungover, sitting in their beds. Snuff had been there from morning with paint,
Just clean it up.
painting it over,
Wow.
because the club would, otherwise they wouldn't let us do it.
Wow.
Snuff's in there. Painting
What do the
it over.
graph writers doing? I mean, I've done club nights, and it's like, what are they thinking?
You know, come on, man. It's
These
what it
darn
is, it's what it
raiders.
is, man.
These
You
darn
know,
raiders.
We
Yeah.
was like the same time as like all the writers were our friends, right?
Yeah, it's the thing.
So we actually got writers to appeal to other writers and say, I think there was like some sort of discussion in there, just keep it to the toilets
Okay.
and allow the rest of the club sort of
Okay,
thing. And
got
it
you.
kind of mellowed it out, but you know.
Damn, why didn't I
Is
think
it?
of that? Yeah.
It is what it is, though. You know, I think eventually the club would just like turn a blind eye, because it was bringing in a lot of
Yeah. These
people
like small
on a
fry
night that
problems
they weren't
compared
getting
to-
much, you know. So
Yeah.
bringing the bar money on that must have been
Yeah.
real good for them. So but Snuff would be back in there on the Friday morning, man, painting over.
Bless
that, you
him.
know?
Big up
Yeah,
Snuff.
big up
I mean,
Snuff
yeah,
again.
figurehead in the scene.
Yeah,
a mover and
definitely,
shaker,
definitely.
making it happen.
But that's the sort of vibes we was on. Like it was pure homegrown stuff. You know, we was doing this 1 minute, we're doing this big massive event, and there's loads of people there and stuff, and like, you know, we're sitting there going, who should we book for the next one? And I'm pulling up my phone book, like, oh yeah, let me holler at so-and-so, let me holler at so-and-so.
Momentum builds. That's
Just
the
people.
beautiful thing about
I
brand.
mean, the truth is, we wasn't paying. Anyway, we wasn't getting paid.
No.
You know, there weren't no money going
So it's a
about.
clean
Any
slate,
money that would
yeah.
come back would just about cover the things for the next event, flyers and so on and so on. You get that. You try to give everyone their travel or whatever. But it was one of them things, no one was getting no money. It was putting on a big event in front of all these people. Everyone was skint, man.
Yeah.
You know? But a lot of them people played purely for love.
It was the energy and the space to do it.
Yeah.
It was almost like
But before it was the energy and space, it was literally hollering people and people just calling in, not calling in favours, because you know, done favours for them, but just hollering up and say, look, man, we're doing this thing. Like, you come down and do, like, we used to say, just come down and do, like, 2-3 tracks. We could put, like, 10 artists on the bill doing 3 tracks each, you know what I mean?
2 and 3,
It was like-
three's the magic number, always.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice, short and sweet. We keep it moving, and in between the acts, we'd have like poets and stuff like that,
Wow.
or sometimes just speakers.
So that was like the
people
regular
who would come in
occurrence.
and speak.
Wow.
You know, not even on you know, subjects and things going on.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the kind of vibe we was on. It always suited us. You know what I mean? Yeah,
But you also-
it got shut down eventually.
Yeah,
the police
yeah.
put a lot of pressure on
Yeah.
it. Man.
Because there's just too many people. There's just
Too many people. There was things kicking off. As things kick off in, go to a nightclub anywhere, a load of people drunk and they're
Yeah.
fights. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
It went down to us, but I know that the local authority didn't like bashment being on the flyer. That was a thing. They didn't like bashment in Lambeth.
Oh, right, I see.
So apparently it brought too much violence and hostility. So then we just changed it to dub reggae on the flyer. But still, once they got their hooks in, they kind of was hell bent. They wanted us to do like a membership thing and stuff. It was never going to work.
Hey, the record isn't broken.
Come on now.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, it was good times, man. It's good times. And a lot of people remember it, you know?
Yeah.
Like you know, you'd have people from all over and linking
Significant
up.
moment.
A lot of friends made, you know? A lot of people you would see so many years later and be, oh, yeah, speakers, that was it, yeah. And Deal Real, the times was round about the same time as well, so we had that pop in and that was great as well. Pretty much all the rappers from Deal Real would come up to speakers.
That's the other
and
thing,
rap.
so that was the times, you see.
Mm-hmm.
The new Deal Real, the one, the Covent Garden.
Yeah.
And no,
The second Deal Real, yeah.
Carnaby Street,
I know there was some like, you know what I mean, who was the first and all this. To me, like, when I first heard the shop was getting made, I thought it was Pete Real and them doing it.
Yeah.
And then I went there and I met Vince and Tony and them guys, and they're lovely guys. And to me, all the politics of the shop name didn't really matter.
No,
to me.
no,
It was
no,
just
no.
another good place where hip hop was thriving.
Yeah, and thriving, it was like Kate
Oh,
Tempest
man.
and all these.
Listen, I remember I
all
come
these
out. I'll
heads.
big up K, man.
Yeah.
I remember coming out of the shop Deal Real ciphering one day, and I came out and I just looked around me, and I know like I saw no less than 5-6 ciphers going on there, and each one had crowds around it, everyone rapping. I remember just looking around and go, this is great. I used to write verses in the week for Friday for Deal Real.
Really?
Yeah, no,
Oh,
I'm gonna
God,
get
I
my
love
chance to
that.
get on the mic.
Yeah.
So it's like I used to write at least 3, 4, 16s or something.
Crazy.
Try and memorize it.
I
so
love
when
it.
Friday comes, I got new bars, I got fresh.
It's like
I don't
I'm
want to rap the
sketching.
bars I rapped last month.
No.
Or last week, it was weekly, wasn't it? I don't want to rap the bars I rapped last week, so I'd always try and write a new bar. But I say, I was recording songs and doing the ciphering and did it. So I was writing verses, just for bars, with just some stuff I thought sounded cold. Not really song mode, you know what I mean? So like
Just flexing your pen.
just writing and just thinking what would sound good. And so I was writing specifically for Deal Real at one point. And if I can be better than the other rappers there, and if I can better myself each time, you know. It's like the dojo, isn't it? Like, you know, just being surrounded by rappers, I just had to get your pen game tight, and it got my pen game tight. And
crazy.
I know people, because people have told me, rappers out there now who have had good success have said, "Oh, back them days, man, I was a young'un, and watching you, man, was making me get my pen game up."
Yeah.
See how it goes,
Totally.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Need them places, man.
Of course, man. Like
Need them
Doc
places.
Brown as well. Very
Incredible
prominent
host.
in the
Incredible
great
host.
You know, it forces you to up your game, doesn't it?
Yeah, massively, man, massively. Because he's an incredibly versatile like rapper. Like he can just go seamlessly from hosting, talking to rapping, freestyling, everything. He was the best host they could have had, really. You know what I mean?
Poisonous Poets, another crew that was orbiting.
That was good.
Around the same time as us,
Reveal was
hold
one
tight,
of the
Reveal.
greatest rappers I knew.
Oh my
Like,
God!
serious, yeah.
Every time I see that smile of his, I'm just like, yeah, he's on.
Incredible rappers, man. Like for real.
Yeah. Weapons.
Mm.
Coming from a pedigree of weapons.
That's the stuff I like, though, man. I always like the group format, you know.
Yeah.
If you get a group of people who can all rap very well, it's a great listen. You
And
know?
it's the delegative in task, you know, if you've got like
And I like the variation of voices.
Mm.
You know, as much as I'm a soloist always, but I do like to work with people. I like the variation of voices on tracks. You know.
But let's remind ourselves, producers as well, making music.
Yeah, it's what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Basically, it's say Yeah, it was a balance thing at one point. It's like rapping was up here, and that's mostly everything. And I was always making beats, but then just slowly through the years, it's just gone like this, you know.
Yeah.
And now I'm occasional rapper. I'm actually writing a project right now. I don't even know why. I just thought I'd start, and so then I did. And so now I'm like 4 tracks in, and I'm like, yeah, I'm having fun.
Oh man, that sounds awesome.
But this is where I'm at now. It's not really a thing of
Pressure.
I eradicated the pressure. I don't put timelines on anything.
No.
Like I work with some artists and they're very like strict on their timeline. Like, you know, and they for me they set the timeline too early. For me that's stress.
Yeah.
I don't like stress. Now I've learned that I don't like to work. It can help you, but I'm fine anyway. I can get to where I want to get to anyway. I've put out loads of music. I know that I can get to the end of a product. What's important to me is, you know, just going through it, man, and writing the music, making the music. You know, it's like,
You like the journey.
yeah, massively. The journey, doesn't everyone? Because
Therapy with
sometimes
it.
the goal is you've reached the end of your journey, and the fun was the journey.
It's like chasing a lady, you understand.
Yeah, the thrill of the chase, right?
Yeah.
It's a thing like, you know, I think a lot of times when you reach the goal that you had,
Is that what you wanted?
you kind of like, well, not so much that. I just think like, okay, well, what now? Where's my, you know, next thing? What do I do? You know, that's how I'm like with music. So we was looking at the magazines you got over there earlier, and I said one of my first goals when I was getting into this was to be in that magazine.
Hip Hop Connection, yeah.
And I got in that magazine a couple of times. I was really proud of that. So then I was like, my next thing was like, oh, what do I want to do now? I had a goal to like get a music video done. I had a goal to like do a big show. And all these goals I set for myself, I achieved. And I was really happy with that. And it's like, what's the next step? So then I realised the thing that's common throughout all of it is the creativity. And I've realised through time is that if I can eradicate the stress and all the politics of everything, we can put out music ourselves now.
Yeah.
We can make the music ourselves at home.
Yeah.
We can put it out direct to people out there. I mean, that's perfect for me.
Less pressure.
That's perfect for me, man. I can just make music, put it out, and keep it moving.
You know what I love the most is that method that you've now formulated. There's plenty of people, bro, that we'll remember that we're doing so much at one stage, but now barely, if at all, do anything. And that's a real shame, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because they haven't thought that
think so.
practice through.
I talk to people who used to rap. I say to them, you know, don't you ever pick it up? And it's like, nah, it kind of just gone now. They've left it so long now. It's not a thing they think of. And even Possessed is a well-known rapper from Rhyme Asylum. I saw him recently, spoke to him, and he just said the idea of anyone even calling him Possessed sounds ridiculous now. Because he don't rap no more, he's quit for quite a while. And he just said it just sounds ridiculous now. He's so far out of it that it all just sounds a bit silly. And that can happen. I took time out of music myself. And when I took time out of music myself, there is a bit where you can look at what a lot of rappers are saying and stuff and start to go, this is just very silly, isn't it? Like, even my own stuff, I would sit there and start going, what does this mean? What are you talking about? And if you look deep into it, you can start to pull it apart, which can be quite dangerous if you're an artist. If you take time out and become...
Particularly on your own stuff.
Become like just doing normal things, like just working, seeing family, watching movies, TV, and just
you lose
sort
your
of
flow.
lose it.
Yeah.
You kind of start, you can look at it and go, it's a bit... It's a bit silly sometimes, you know. But when you're in it and creating it, it's all about that creative flow and how much your imagination can put things, you know.
Well, it's youthful wisdom, isn't it? This culture is a youth-based culture, and I guess certainly generations ahead of us have surpassed the idea. But when you really deep it a little bit and think to yourself, so what, I'm doing that. And I was doing it like that, was I?
Yeah.
What's that about?
I had a point where I was really questioning like music and being part of hip hop in an older age, and I was looking, thinking it is a young man's game. But then I said it to a few people, and they said, "Don't be silly, man. Like look at all the artists out there away from hip hop, and that's not a thing.
Rock bands, you know what I mean? Like,
Just make music. Just it's timeless. You know, you can be at any age and pick up something and start making some music. You know, if you feel to, and that's what it is. But I think you fall into these things of thinking it's a young, and that's all fashion.
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all just, do you look the part for
Yeah.
the company to push out and
fuck
sell
that anyway.
units and that? Who cares, man? But back, all my favourite musicians were ugly.
Man, it is the brand. Look at the guy. It's
That's
fucking
right.
branded to the hilt. Ain't no
You know?
AI copy type thing. This is the real deal.
Yeah, you know, so yeah, it's just, it's all good.
It is all good.
Yeah.
And the future's bright.
Yeah, I mean, the future's relaxed, man. It's chilled, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, I used to be, like, really sort of in my head a lot about what I'm doing as an artist and am I breaking through? And now I'm just like, break through to what, man? Like, the breaking through is in here.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, if I'm happy in here, it don't really matter.
Yeah.
You know, so if I'm happy and comfortable in here with the music I'm creating and enjoying that, then all the other stuff it just falls in place, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just
All
enjoy
business,
it.
music business, chasing this. Are you doing this and that on your socials? And I don't care less, man.
no.
Like, I hardly do socials,
No,
man.
no, you're a hard man to get hold of, I must say.
Yeah, I'm just not really into it, man. You know, I just you look at it all, and it's fun to see some good stuff and people like the music stuff and that, but that's all it is for me. The socials now, I just go on for music and football banter. Really, that's it, man. Bit of banter, check out football, share, check out music, share some music. You know, maybe get in contact with people. That's more what it's for now. Is a lot of contacts like yourself and people that I can just look up and go, oh, yo, what's happening? Yo, how you doing? You know, and that's really good, and that's the main thing why I keep it.
Yeah.
Because I thought about just deleting it all at one point because it just didn't really resonate with me. That it was, I find yourself sitting there looking through your phone for the 20th time.
Yeah.
It's only 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
What am I doing?
Yeah.
Procrastinating, sitting there for an hour.
You know who you are. Even the editor.
I'm
you
still
know who
doing
you are.
it sometimes, you know what I mean? But this is the thing, is that I realise that there's nothing really there for me that I haven't, that I need, you know?
It does change. It's done a lot, good and bad, to society.
Yeah, good and bad. Like everything, man.
Yeah.
It's but yeah, I just find that there's not much on there for me, man. Once I've checked out people's music and stuff,
Then you're good.
I'm happy just to To be honest, man, I just like music. And then I realised when I was young, I just liked music. My mum bought me a musical youth record when I was 2 years old because I used to go crazy every time I heard it. So this is the sort of thing,
Era,
you know?
yeah.
It's that, man. You know, it's no stress, man. No stress now. There was stress. There was a lot of stress. When I had to do shows and stuff, and I got a really bad back, man. I suffer with a bad back. A lot of shows you end up with people's sofas and stuff like that, and this was crippling me. But I just had to be out there. I had to be doing this thing, and like, you know, the mental stress as well of you know, you're not living a great lifestyle doing hip hop. Let's be real, especially if you're on the road and active. You're not eating well. You're not sleeping well. You know, so you're doing all of this. It creates imbalance up there. You need to find a balance.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think I needed to find a balance because I was just fully on trying to be out everywhere, doing everything. And eventually, and we talked about my younger days of psychosis and stuff, and I don't think it matched up well. I didn't deal with stress well, you know, and I think knowing yourself is important, man. And I got to a point where I realised if I can eradicate all the pressure and stress in making music, which is what I have now, and I'm happy to be there. I've got a studio at home.
Yeah.
I can record. We built a small label we can release music on.
Lab 79.
Lab 79, big up the crew. And so, you know, I'm real happy there, and it's a comfort place, man, you know, and I just want to keep making more music and keep trying to put it out there. But I want to keep working with other people. Like I said, now production's a main thing. It opens up the door for me to work with a lot more people.
Yeah.
That,
Nurture and develop as well.
yeah, and just you know, communicate and just get involved, really, you know, and just, you know, see how far I can push my production, you know, and see how much it can get heard. And get that love for it as well, you know. Just get that feedback and be like, yeah, that's nice, man. That's nice. That's worth it, man. Thank you. Like, you know, that means the world, to be honest. More than all the likes and whatever. Just having people hollering, man. Just
And your
like,
peers or
"That's
people and
dope, that's dope."
friends, yeah.
It's more for that than anything else, man. More if I can put it on and my boys go, "Oh, yeah, that's cold," and I just go, "Yeah, yeah, that's it, innit? That's it."
I feel like this is the conversation that we wanted to hear from Manage.
Okay,
For
perfect.
real, like.
Perfect. I don't change, man.
No.
I mean, I'm mellow, but you know, the main thing is always there, man. You know, is social commentary.
Yeah.
You know, bars,
Yeah.
dope beats.
Yeah, and if you want to check more, you have
Sounds.
to listen to Man's music, you
Yeah,
understand?
go check it out, man.
Lab 79, things like that. You know, got a history, legacy.
Yeah. There's a lot of music out there, man. Like, you know, I forget half the stuff I've done.
That was a precursor to coming on. It's like, you know, I'm not going to remember much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna remember much, man. Like, but there's so much that you know, you start going down things. You oh yeah, I remember this guy, I remember that guy, I remember this happening, that happening. I remember them music we put out, and sometimes it takes people to come up to me and be, oh, do you remember this? And I'm like, oh wow, like I can't believe that.
Or if you've gone on tour, you've done a show, and there was more than like 2 or 3 of you, someone will always cite something. You'll be like, "We did that."
Yeah,
Who the fuck
yeah,
did
yeah.
that?
Happened a lot.
Thank
of
God I got
times,
friends
man.
that knew. you know?
Yeah, definitely, man. Oh man, but it's great though. Just many of the places I've seen, I wouldn't have seen if I weren't doing music. You know, I've travelled around Europe, travelled up and down the country,
you have.
met so many people, done so many shows, been in places I would never have gone, man. Just young lad from Lewisham, you know what I mean? Just would have been kicking around doing usual stuff, just probably got a job, held myself down and done this and that. But, you know, I just, it's good, man.
Something to
Like,
be
rich
proud
in
of.
experience, man.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, you know, definitely.
With your integrity intact,
Yeah. Well, you got to keep that there, I feel, anyway. You know what I mean?
my brother.
You got to kill.
It's been a pleasure chatting to you, my
Yeah,
guy.
man.
Exactly the same. Looks exactly the same as when we left him.
I don't age.
He's
apparently.
aged. He's done age. Peter Pan. Ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast outlet in was out of fashion. It's been a pleasure as always. Manager tell you, remember, crime don't pay, but neither do they. Don't talk to anyone I wouldn't. You stay lucky, people. That's what manager.
See you later, man.
Easy.
Peace. Nice one.
It was
man.
cold.
Nice, man. I could have talked forever, mate.